sobrang di ko pa mapaniwala. Maraming salamat sa suporta. Sana patuloy yung suporta niyo sa akin.
Nobody in tennis was prepared for what happened next. Not the players. Not the sponsors. Not even the billionaires who usually get whatever they want. What unfolded behind closed doors in Abu Dhabi wasn't just a rumor. It was a moment so explosive that it quietly shook the entire sports world. And at the center of it all stood a 20-year-old Filipina who proved that some things still can't be bought, no matter how many zeros you add. Welcome back to Champions Tennisics. Today's story isn't about a forehand, a backhand, or a ranking jump. This is about power, temptation, and a decision that stunned people who aren't used to hearing the word no. If you think tennis is just trophies and prize money, stay right here, because what you're about to hear changes everything. The desert heat in Abu Dhabi was already brutal, but the real temperature spike wasn't coming from the sun. It was coming from the buzz surrounding one name echoing through the Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open, Alex Eala. Every match she played felt different. The stands weren't just full, they were alive. Filipino flags waved like this was a home tournament. Chants rolled through the stadium. This wasn't polite applause, this was belief. Alex wasn't just winning. She was surviving. She was fighting. She was refusing to break. Only days earlier, she had gone head-to-head with her close friend Zeynep Sonmez in a match loaded with emotion. No mercy, no favors, just raw competition. Then came the match that left even seasoned analysts speechless. Down 0-4 in the deciding set against Alexandra Sasnovich, staring at defeat, legs heavy, lungs burning, she did the impossible. She erased match point. Then another. Then another. Point by point, she dragged herself back into the match as if losing simply wasn't an option. That comeback wasn't luck. It was identity. And that identity didn't go unnoticed. While fans focused on the scoreboard, whispers began circulating far away from the public eye. In private lounges. In restricted corridors. Among people whose decisions move markets and reshape sports. Alex Eala wasn't just being talked about as a player anymore. She was being discussed as a symbol. A face. A future. That's when one of the most powerful figures in global sports entered the story. Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan. A name that doesn't need trophies to prove authority. The owner of Manchester City. A man whose influence stretches far beyond football, far beyond borders. According to multiple insiders, watching Alex command the crowd wasn't just impressive to him, it was irresistible. The way fans responded. The way cameras followed her. The way energy shifted when she stepped onto the court. This wasn't about a match anymore. This was about ownership of a moment. What happened next sounds unreal, but every detail points to the same conclusion. After her dramatic quarter-final qualification, Alex wasn't escorted back to the locker room. Instead, she was quietly taken to an ultra-restricted VIP wing inside the Zayed Sports City complex. No journalists. No phones. No noise. Just silence and luxury so extreme it felt detached from reality. Velvet-lined walls. Soft golden lighting. The air heavy with oud and jasmine. A setting designed not to impress, but to overwhelm. Waiting inside wasn't a panel. It wasn't a legal team. It was Sheikh Mansour himself. And here's where the story takes a turn that stunned even those who witnessed it. He didn't sit above her. He didn't speak down to her. According to multiple accounts, the billionaire royal lowered himself. He knelt. Let that sink in. A man with unlimited resources, accustomed to power bending toward him, kneeling before a young tennis player from the Philippines. Not out of tradition. Not for ceremony. But out of vision. Out of desire to secure something he believed could redefine sport in the region. Then came the offer. Not a sponsorship. Not an endorsement. Not a contract. An empire. The proposal placed in front of Alex Eala wasn't designed to negotiate. It was designed to end conversations. A $1 billion immediate payment. No conditions. No delays. More money up front than most athletes earn in an entire lifetime. On top of that, a guaranteed $600 million every single year for the next decade. 10 years. $6 billion locked in. But money was only the beginning. A fully customized Boeing 787 Dreamliner, built exclusively for her. Gold-detailed interiors. A private medical suite on board. A personal tennis island featuring a state-of-the-art stadium named after her. The Alex Eala Abu Dhabi Arena. A brand new global tournament, the Abu Dhabi Diamond Tennis Championship, where she would forever be the centerpiece, with prize money so massive it would make Grand Slams look modest. The deal would instantly crown her the richest female athlete in history. Past Serena. Past Osaka. Past everyone. All she had to do was say yes. All she had to do was stay. The room fell silent. 5 seconds passed. 10. 15. 20. No one spoke. No one moved. The kind of silence that presses against your chest. And in those 20 seconds, Alex Eala weighed something far heavier than money. She wasn't thinking about luxury. She wasn't imagining private jets or headlines. She was facing a question that defines careers and exposes character. Who do you play for? Then she stood up. Calm. Steady. Unshaken. She looked directly at the man kneeling before her and answered softly, but with a weight that shook the room. The exact words remain sealed, but insiders describe a message that cut through billions like glass. Her passion was not for sale. Her flag was not a logo. Her dream was history, not gold. And just like that, she walked away. $6 billion left behind. A deal that would have secured generations erased in under half a minute. In that moment, Alex Eala stopped being just a rising star. She became something far more dangerous to the powerful. She became unbuyable. And that decision explains everything we're seeing on the court right now. Part 2 will dive into why this choice fits perfectly with who Alex Eala really is, her upbringing, her sacrifices, and the road that forged this mindset. To understand why Alex Eala could walk away from a fortune that would paralyze most people, you have to understand where she comes from. This wasn't a reckless decision. It wasn't pride. It wasn't stubbornness. It was consistency. The same mindset that carried her through empty courts, lonely airports, and years of sacrifice showed up in that silent room in Abu Dhabi. Alex Eala's story doesn't begin in luxury. It begins in Quezon City, Philippines, where tennis is not a dream pathway, it's an afterthought. In a country ruled by basketball courts squeezed between buildings and boxing gyms echoing with punches, tennis lives on the margins. There are no endless academies. No conveyor belts of sponsors. No safety net. She was born on May 23, 2004, into a family that believed in effort more than shortcuts. From the moment she picked up a racket as a small child, it was obvious she was different. Not louder. Not flashier. Just relentlessly competitive. Losing bothered her more than winning excited her. That edge became her foundation. But talent alone doesn't pay for court time. It doesn't buy flights. It doesn't cover coaching. Her parents understood that every step forward would cost something. Financially, emotionally, personally. Her father took on extra work to fund her development. Her mother became everything at once: coach, planner, motivator, emotional shield. This wasn't a tennis journey. It was a family mission. By the time Alex was barely a teenager, the limits of the Philippines became clear. If she wanted a real chance, she had to leave. At just 12 years old, she made a decision that many adults couldn't survive. She moved to Spain to train at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca. New country, new language, new culture, no family dinners, no familiar faces, just courts, discipline, and pressure. The academy doesn't care where you're from. It doesn't care about potential. Every day is a test. Long training sessions under unforgiving sun. Physical drills that drain your body. Mental routines that expose your weaknesses. Surrounded by elite juniors from around the world, all desperate for the same future, all ready to replace you if you fall behind. Many kids break there. Homesickness eats them alive. Injuries pile up. Confidence disappears. Alex didn't just survive. She adapted. She learned Spanish. She learned patience. She learned how to lose without breaking and how to win without ego. Slowly, she built a complete game. Heavy ground strokes. Smart positioning. Calm decision-making under pressure. Her junior results weren't just good. They were historic. In 2020, she became the first Filipino to ever win a junior Grand Slam singles title at the Australian Open. That wasn't just a trophy. It was a statement heard back home across an entire nation. A year later, she backed it up by reaching the French Open Junior Final and capturing the US Open Junior Doubles title. Different surfaces. Different partners. Same composure. But here's what people don't tell you. Junior success doesn't protect you in the professional world. The moment you step onto the women's tour, everything resets. Rankings mean survival. Prize money determines whether you can afford to keep going. Lose early, and you don't just lose points, you lose money. For players from tennis powerhouses, that's inconvenient. For someone like Alex, it's dangerous. She entered the ITF circuit, the grinding underground of professional tennis. Small venues, sparse crowds, cheap hotels, long travel days, matches played in silence, sometimes with more officials than spectators. She paid for flights, paid for accommodation, paid for coaching, and often left tournaments with less money than she arrived with. This is where careers quietly die. 3 a.m. airport terminals, ice baths in hotel tubs, meals chosen by price, not nutrition, playing through discomfort because rest isn't affordable, wondering if the dream is worth the cost. And yet, Alex never complained. She never chased shortcuts. She never traded integrity for exposure. She could have taken the easy road. Exhibition matches, influencer deals, appearances that pay more than early round tour wins. She could have slowed down the grind and lived comfortably off her image. But she didn't. Because her goal was never comfort. It was legitimacy. She wanted to earn her place. That's why the Abu Dhabi offer wasn't tempting in the way people think. To someone who has sacrificed years of real competition, who has bled for ranking points, the idea of stepping away from the tour for a manufactured circuit isn't freedom. It's a cage. A golden one, but still a cage. Walking away from Grand Slams. From Wimbledon grass. From Roland Garros clay. From the chance to face the very best in the world when it actually matters. Trading legacy for luxury. That wasn't her dream. And when you look back at her matches this week, everything suddenly makes sense. The comeback against Sasnovich wasn't desperation. It was identity. Players who compete only for money don't fight like that when the body is screaming to stop. Mercenaries protect themselves. Warriors empty themselves. Down 0-4 in the deciding set, many players would mentally check out. Preserve energy. Accept defeat. Move on. Alex Eala didn't. She chased every ball like it was the last point of her life. She saved match point not because she believed she'd win, but because she refused to lose cheaply. When she finally closed it out, the roar from the crowd wasn't about rankings or prize money. It was recognition. They weren't watching an asset. They were watching a fighter. Now she faces Ekaterina Alexandrova in the quarterfinals. On paper, she's the underdog. Rankings say she shouldn't win. Experience says she shouldn't win. But paper doesn't measure belief. And belief is exactly what she's carrying right now. The tennis world feels it. Social media has exploded. Fans are calling her the Iron Princess. Analysts are talking about her restoring something tennis has been losing. In an era where athletes chase the biggest check and the fastest exit, a young woman from the Philippines chose resistance over retreat. She chose the long road. She chose the road where greatness hurts. And that decision doesn't just define her career. It challenges the entire sport. Because if a 20-year-old, still climbing, still struggling, can say no to billions, then what excuse does anyone else have? Part 3 will break down the global impact of her decision, what it means for tennis moving forward, and why Alex Eala may have just changed the future of the sport without hitting a single ball. What Alex Eala did in Abu Dhabi didn't just ripple through tennis. It exposed a fault line running through modern sport itself. 4 years now, money has been rewriting rules, redrawing loyalties, and reshaping what competition means. Leagues fracture. Exhibitions multiply. Prestige bends. And quietly, the question has been hanging in the air, unanswered. Is sport still about earning greatness, Or has it become something you can simply purchase? Her decision answered that question louder than any press conference ever could. Think about the timing. Tennis is standing at a crossroads. Traditional tournaments still carry history, but the gravitational pull of massive, money-driven alternatives is getting stronger. We've watched golfers abandon legacy circuits for guaranteed paydays. We've seen footballers leave peak competition for final contracts. Even tennis legends have stepped into privately funded exhibitions where rankings don't matter and results don't last. The sport has been drifting toward spectacle over substance. Then a 20-year-old Filipina drew a line. By rejecting the Abu Dhabi empire, Alex Eala did something radical. She reminded everyone that tennis is supposed to be earned in public, not negotiated in private. That rankings are built through wins, not contracts. That a Grand Slam trophy weighs more than any gold-plated jet.